In order to focus on how teachers can teach listening in the Language Bee classroom, we first have to understand the aims and objectives as they pertain to listening. I'll direct the new IB teachers to the page in the guide and ask them to share with the whole group an example of how aims 2, 3, and 5 might be addressed in classroom activities. As a brainstorming, I will ask each group to identify and post which top 3 learner profile attributes are most associated with listening skills. Each group will post these to their group chart paper with markers, which I'll provide. I'll also ask them to add a few ideas about how listening activities promote international mindedness. The themes and topics and conceptual understandings are used to frame the material programmed to prepare students for Paper 2. Thinking about conceptual understandings and listening, I'll give each table some activity tasks: an ad for a soap, conversation at a cafe, a YouTube animation, a song, a podcast, a literary reading. After looking at their sample, they will discuss the conceptual understandings that are at work in the task and add their ideas and the task to the chart paper. They should also discuss how the purposes for listening on this slide relate to their activity and post the matching color, the most dominant one, to the chart. At this point, I want them to specifically start thinking about how do we teach listening. I will ask them to put color post-its coordinated with the skill categories in this slide on their chart paper, on which they'll write activities they've heard about, they've done, or they would like to try associated with each type of listening. We could do another activity with context, or as a second last step, if it's getting long, we would do a gallery walk and look at the different chart paper posters so they could observe various activities, breakdowns of learning profiles, connections to international mindedness, and concepts associated with each activity, along with their peer task samples. As a culminating task, we'd be looking at examples of Paper 2s from which we will make an inventory of question types together, those that they observe, before a mock marking activity which we would debrief as a whole group with the examiner marks and comments. This would serve to bring to a close the entire learning engagement. I hope you liked my learning engagement. This was my very first Powtoon. I spent quite a lot of time trying to get it right, and I think some of the voiceovers might be cutting off at the end. But you get the idea, and I hope you enjoyed the show.
Created using Powtoon.